Hello, my name is Nitin Pradhan, and I'm a former Obama Biden appointee. I've been a federal CIO, I'm a federal expert, and now I run an accelerator called ScaleUP USA, which is really helping companies grow in the federal sector. And today we are going to discuss 6 ways artificial intelligence, actually Gen AI, generative artificial intelligence, is going to transform the accounting, auditing, and finance industry. We are really going to focus on the accounting and auditing part, but the finance part is also a part of that whole discussion. So the question is, why are we discussing this? So as I mentioned, we run the Federal Business Accelerator Program, and we have lots of companies who come in and who want to grow within the federal sector, a $10 trillion federal sector. And many of them, are in the finance sector. And they ask questions about how this industry is going to change and what do they need to do to use AI to actually provide services to the government and to the private sector. So this is a very hot topic. And you need to really act on this if you are really within the accounting and auditing industry, because change is coming and change is coming very fast. And the transformation that's going to happen is going to be very, very big. And so that's the reason we are going to talk about the top 6 ways, the accounting and auditing industry is going to change because of generative AI. So let's get started. So the first major change that's going to happen because of generative AI and its impact on the financial industry, especially the accounting and auditing industry, is going to happen in the area of financial statements. If you look at the accounting industry, a lot of effort, time, and money is spent on generating these financial statements, whether it be general ledger or it be cash flow, profit and loss, balance sheet, all those kind of things. They're sort of done at a point in time, and it takes a lot of time to develop it, and it may not be accurate. All this is going to change with generative AI, because generative AI could actually have all of these statements at any given time on demand. And it's also going to be very, very accurate because it'll have the data and it'll have all the knowledge to actually do the right thing. Now, not only that, what's going to happen is generative AI not only will be able to create some of these statements very clearly and cleanly and actually on demand and have it ready at any time, but they'll also be able to analyze these statements and provide you a very detailed analysis and a strategy of how to proceed. So this whole idea of accounting statements just coming in and then, the auditors giving their views and then the management looking at them and trying to see how they can adapt, that whole thing can change because generative AI itself can provide advice and guidance based on real data that's coming through the financial statements and start comparing and providing you advice. So again, if you're an energy industry and you're an energy company within this industry and you have an accounting statement or you have a balance sheet or profit and loss or all those kind of things, it's going to be very easy for you to not only compare your particular results with your past results, but you could compare it with 100 different companies. You could go out and check what are they doing differently. You could go out and see what strategies are working from them. So all these changes are going to come in. And so accounting and auditing industry is going to become much more strategic because the statements will come out, the reports will come out, the reports will be custom, and the reports can be compared with other industry, can be compared with other competitors, can be compared with your own data in the past, and valuable insights are going to be got. So again, a huge change in the accounting and auditing industry is going to come in very, very shortly. The next way we are going to see auditing and accounting change is by having something called smart custom auditing. If you look at the auditing today, what's happening is most of the auditing is fairly manual. You have all these auditors come in, they may have some systems to actually look at the data, but essentially the auditing function is fairly manual. With the Gen AI coming in, not only will this auditing become smart, but it's also going to become custom. So let me talk about what I mean by smart. Gen AI will have all the background data about a particular industry. Let's say you're trying to audit an energy industry. Now, if you are generally going to have auditors, they will have some expertise of the energy industry, but they are not going to be absolute experts. But now with Gen AI, the auditors are going to be absolute experts because the Gen AI system will have all kinds of data and knowledge about the energy industry. And when it does this audit, it's going to do it extensively, it's going to do it accurately, it's not going to get tired, it's going to do it on demand, it's going to do it in real time. So a huge, huge change is going to happen. Not only that, when the actual reports come out from this auditing effort, the reports could be then customized rather than just have one report coming out. You could have a custom report for each kind of category of viewership. So you may have very detailed reports coming out, or you could actually query onto this auditing system and get the kind of report that you need. So again, a very large change happening in the auditing industry. This is a very, very major change, and companies need to start looking at how they're going to adapt to this. And we're going to talk a little bit about adaptation at the very end of this video. So watch out for that. And then, you can sort of adapt once you sort of understand what's happening. You can adapt. And I think you will be in much better position to actually win on in the whole Gen AI accounting and auditing race. The next big change that Gen AI is going to have on the accounting and auditing industry is its ability to do fraud detection. And not only is it going to do fraud detection generally, but it's going to do fraud detection in real time. And the reason it's going to be able to do this is because it'll have vast amount of data on past frauds. It'll have all kinds of industry knowledge on past frauds. It'll have the data within your system. And it should be able to go out and tell you where fraud may be happening and even potentially tell you how it can be stopped. And so this whole fraud detection is already taking place. If you look at credit card companies and others are doing it pretty darn good now, but that's going to come to accounting and auditing industry. And so individual companies will be able to do fraud detection on their systems, their payments, their receivables, all these kind of systems, and accurately predict that fraud and actually help it stop. And so again, this is going to be a major saving for companies. And it's also going to be a major, major reporting activity in terms of what's happening and how to actually build the next generation of systems. So again, watch out for this particular activity to keep on happening in the very near future. The next way generative AI or Gen AI is going to go out and change the accounting and auditing industry is by having intelligent accounts payable and accounts receivable systems. No longer would you need to go out and manually set up systems to actually, go out and bill or invoice somebody and process the whole bill, make sure that the payment is collected, make sure that appropriate strategies are put in place to maximize the fast return of cash and to actually do a follow-up based on past history. All of this could be automated by a Gen AI system. Not only that, what it would be able to do is not only study individual client and their past history for payment, but it could also look across that client in other different customer areas and find out what that particular client is doing with other potential suppliers and see whether they're paying us later than others and make appropriate changes or suggest strategies. So this whole idea of payables and receivables is going to change completely, and it's going to come in pretty fast, and it's a pretty boring and it's a pretty tedious task for most accounting and auditing and bookkeeping companies. And so this is going to change very, very quickly. And when it's going to change quickly, It's going to become more faster. It's going to become more accurate. It's also going to require less people. And so those people that are available either can be laid off, or those people can actually be educated, do some higher level strategy work, which the Gen AI may not be able to immediately do. So again, a very huge change coming up in intelligent accounts payable and accounts receivable systems. Next big change that's going to happen because of generative AI is in the area of compliancy, and compliancy relating to regulatory framework or financial framework or any of these kind of things. And today, what's happening in the area of compliancy, you're sort of doing it on as an icing on a cake. So it's sort of not baked in. And so you're sort of doing your own activity, and the side you're sort of looking at, are you compliant? Are you compliant with this law, that law, those kind of things. But with generative AI, compliance is going to get baked in into your systems. And what's going to happen is compliance is going to happen on a continuous basis. And so the systems will be able to track what you're doing and alert you if you're sort of going afoul of some kind of compliance or regulation. And what this is going to do is lesser penalties. It's going to also make you in reputationally much more sound. And all of these kind of things are going to actually help in the whole auditing and accounting schemes. So again, watch out for a very big change relating to compliancy through what we call continuous compliancy monitoring. That's going to happen because of generative AI. The next huge change that you're going to see is in what we call personal financial advisory services. So you may have seen this. There are lots of companies who are providing financial advisory services either to individuals or to companies. If it's individuals, they might be managing your stocks and your portfolio and providing you advice on retirement and all those kind of strategies. And these companies are doing a fairly manual job. And while they might say that they are providing custom portfolio, in general, they are not, because they don't have all kinds of great information and they are not able to track it on a continuous basis and make changes that are required for your portfolio. But with generative AI, with all the data available about you, your health, your family, your aspirations, where you want to go in future, all those kind of things, and you take all that information and sort of integrate it with all the financial details about you and your family, now it can provide you very good financial advisory services at a very personalized, very custom level. And each of them could be very, very different, even within your own family member. So that is going to happen at an individual level. Now, of course, if you are a firm which is providing financial advisory services to corporations, again, you change it. You are generally providing a template, and you're sort of using that template to provide financial advisory services because, remember, no firm can afford to do very custom work for each individual client. That's very, very difficult unless the client is very big. But if you're a small to mid-sized client, then what you're getting in terms of advisory, in terms of financial services, is sort of a template-based approach. But with Gen AI, you can actually do custom, advisory in terms of financial services. So again, a very, very huge change coming within that. And so if you are a company and doing work in the financial advisory services, this is again a very huge change coming in where personalized advisory services will become the key, and the better the service, the better you're going to be. So let's now look at in the final section, which is our bonus section, how your company should adapt if you're sort of in the financial services industry and you're doing things like accounting and auditing. So now let's discuss what you should be doing if you actually have an accounting company, accounting, auditing, financial service. If you're in that realm, what is it that you need to do if you're sort of going to compete with this upcoming Gen AI related systems? So let me clear out a couple of things here up front. If you're a smaller company, smaller accounting, auditing, or financial firm, or if you're just getting started, you have an advantage because you have the opportunity to actually bake in the generative AI within your systems, your processes, and your entire working. If you're a larger company with lots and lots of people working with you, it's comparatively difficult to bake in many of these AI related services. You sort of may have to ice them in and then, over a period of time, bake them in. So the advantage for Gen AI is really with the smaller firms, the newer firms, the technology savvy firms. They can actually make good use of it. Especially if you're a company just getting started in the accounting industry, you can rethink the entire model for actually creating an AI based accounting and auditing firm, what I call a native AI based accounting and auditing firm. So you sort of build your accounting and auditing firm on Gen AI rather than just slapping on Gen AI later on. And you can think system by system, process by process, where you can add Gen AI, how you can add Gen AI, and how it can benefit the client and you. And by doing that, you might be able to reduce costs for yourself and the client. You can become super efficient and take more clients in. And you're going to be more accurate, and you're also going to be able to avoid risks relating to compliance and others. So there's an advantage all around. If you're a larger company and if you're trying to add Gen AI, you better get charted fast. And you may need to look at specific areas where you can actually get Gen AI going, and you may need to do system by system. It's not going to be that easy just because of your size and scale. So that's something which you need to sort of understand. Now, one of the things I will tell you is if you are looking for clients in the accounting industry, and if you are looking for, using Gen AI in it, one of the best areas to try out is the government. The government is very interested in accounting and auditing and financial services, but they don't want to do it the old-fashioned way where, sort of have butts in the seat and they're part of spending manual time and effort going out and doing. The federal government is very interested in using AI and Gen AI to actually go out and make its processes super efficient, especially relating to the accounting and financial and other industries within the government. And so that is an area which you absolutely should look at if you have not looked at it. And if you have not had success in the government, especially the federal government, or if you're sort of just getting started, we would recommend that you look at the Federal Business Accelerator and the Federal Career Accelerator programs by ScaleUP USA. I'm going to put in a link about these programs in the description below so you can look at it. The Federal Business Accelerator is actually helping businesses grow in the federal government. And the Federal Career Accelerator is for individuals to learn how to build their careers within the federal government. So that's what I would strongly recommend. Now, a couple of other things that I want to mention. I would absolutely encourage you to start commenting below how you think the accounting and auditing industry is going to change because of Gen AI. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to hear where you agree with us and where you disagree with us and why. So we can sort of take that into account and maybe come up with the next generation of our videos on it. So that's something which I would absolutely recommend. The second thing I would recommend is if you have time, do connect with me on LinkedIn. If you have ideas of how we can partner to grow your company or our company or actually help your clients, absolutely shoot out an email to me and suggest how you would like to partner with us, or just send me an email through LinkedIn. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, as you probably know. So you can actually look at that and sort of get in and sort of have a chat and see what we can do together. Finally, I want to thank you for actually listening to this video. I know time is precious, and so I hope you found some information that's valuable to you. Absolutely do subscribe to our program, recommend it to friends and family, and let me know what are the topics we should talk on so we can actually get going on that. Again, my name is Nitin Pradhan. I'm a former federal CIO. I've also been an Obama-Biden appointee, I should say, and I've actually being a federal expert. I help companies grow in the federal government. So if there's any way I can help you, absolutely contact me. Thank you again.